We are with Erik Huey. He is a Democratic strategist and a political advisor to many campaigns. Erik, this is shaping up to be very interesting. We were just talking about Pennsylvania. You were in Pittsburgh in the boiler room. You're back in D.C. now. How are you feeling about Pennsylvania?
I was there for 5 days. We knocked on over 1,000,003 doors over the course of the weekend, and there was an incredible ground game. She did what we're finding is that Kamala Harris does not have the advantage of being, Catholic white male Joe Biden from Scranton. Nevertheless, it's too close to call. I think what we're seeing here in Pennsylvania and certainly in Wisconsin are. A trend to be between the 2016 numbers and the 2020 numbers, which means it's going to be a nail biter. Because if you think of a place like Pennsylvania, the Biden won by 80,000 votes. If you're in between the Clinton numbers of 16 and the Biden numbers, it is going to come down to possibly under 10,000 votes, and that's where provisional ballots are going to come into play. That's where late data dumps. I think we're still waiting on a number of early mail-in ballots. The Democrats entered the day with 419,000 banked votes from mail-in ballots, just because they had more people request. So it remains to be seen in these states, including Georgia.
Erik, before everything, before you came on, I was literally mathematically going down through Pennsylvania. I used to anchor news in Philly, and
Yes.
and so I have a little bit of familiarity with that part of the state, especially. And looking at the percentage, in fact, even I'll pop in there to Philadelphia County proper itself. And I don't know if you can see this on your screen or not. This is from the Associated Press. 77.1% of the expected vote there that's in there. If the math is right, you've still got well over 100,000 plus votes that have yet to be included in those figures. I put it somewhere along the lines of about 160,000 or so, and that's probably on the low end of an estimate there. I'm trying to be more conservative in that aspect, not political. I'm just saying numbers
Sure.
wise, right? So you're looking at these aspects. Philly, we all know, is quite the blue area for Pennsylvania. It's also over here toward Pittsburgh. Same scenario there. It seems to me that Philly keeps Pennsylvania very much in play for Kamala Harris at this point. Yes.
Philly, Allegheny, and the collar counties around Philly, as well as Erie County. No candidate since 1980, Republican or Democrat, has won statewide in Pennsylvania, whether it's for a statewide race or a federal race or president, without winning Erie County. So keep an eye on Erie, because so goes Erie. Generally, so goes Pennsylvania with 44 years of history. And let's keep an eye on Erie, Allegheny, Philadelphia, and then the collar counties. But those are starting to fill in. And the question now becomes of how much of the remaining outstanding vote is from mail-ins, in which the Democrats have a about a 2-to-1 advantage, just by virtue of how many were requested, and the Democratic advantage there, and how many of those are a day of election, which Trump seems to have an advantage, certainly in certain counties. So it does look like Kamala Harris would need to get her percentage up a little bit more in Philadelphia. So we just don't know which precincts are yet to remain undumped, as it were. So we're waiting this latest round, and then we get into the provisionals. And I think because of college voters, we're going to have more provisionals than we've ever seen in Pennsylvania.
That's the key,
Right.
right there. There's probably a very low probability, low possibility, excuse me, the low chance that we are going to see an outcome within. Well, it's already morning in Pennsylvania, as well as where you are, as well as where Matt Bailey is in Washington, D.C. I'm here in the Central Time Zone. We're not going to see a winner probably out of Pennsylvania within the next couple of hours, are we?
I think we'll know a little bit more in the morning around 8 or 10 in the morning, but we'll see some more numbers come out, and I suspect they're not going to be able to call it, right? Even if one candidate or the other is up by 25,000 votes or something in that range, they're going to have to check how many provisionals are outstanding. So I don't think Pennsylvania gets called before mid morning tomorrow, if by then.
So, Eric, you had said to me privately that you thought
Yes.
this would all be over by 11:30. What happened? What surprises you?
Yeah.
Where are we versus where you thought we'd be?
In my defense, I didn't specify whether that was Eastern or Pacific, but I don't think it's going to be.
Good.
So I left myself a little bit of wiggle room, but I don't think we're going to know by midnight Pacific time either. I think so the biggest surprise is women, right? And it's going to come down to white women. And my theory of the case was that white women won this for Trump in 2016, and the polls weren't matched because they're a horizontal measure rather than a vertical measure. They weren't measuring the level of the depth of support. But we're gonna have to see where white women net out on this, and whether it doesn't seem to there doesn't seem to be emerging a woman shy woman voter trend that I think a lot of Democrats have hoped for. So, I think that's the biggest surprise, that women didn't come in more emphatically for Kamala Harris and Latino voters. He's making up ground. Trump is making up ground from 2020 with Latino, and that just that's mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, Eric Huey, it remains to be seen. I will let you get going, get back to watching it, and we'll see. Hopefully by the morning we'll know more. Thank
All right,
you.
thanks for having me on, guys. Take care. Cheers. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Eric. Have a great